I think there are mainly two ways to introduce or to improve collaboration between China and European Union. First is institutional level, is to encourage meetings between the European Union and Chinese authorities to set the frames and the opportunities for business to meet, for business, but also trade association, chamber of commerce, to assess the opportunities of the Silk Road project, because it is well known in China, it is less known in Europe, and I think the Europeans need to understand better what is behind this very important initiative, and how they can use this initiative to connect with this with a very tempting big Chinese market. And indeed, innovation is probably the best thematic to encourage this collaboration. China is very strong on technological innovation, on IT innovation, and Europe is strong on other issues, maybe on technology side, obviously, also, but also non-technological. And when you think about creative industries or culture industries or management in this field, and this is where maybe there could be new forms of collaboration that inspire not only large companies but also SMEs, where there is a big amount of small and medium-sized companies in Europe, and I know that China would like to develop also the small and medium-sized companies, and there are opportunities to collaborate. And this is where a public initiative like this is important, because SMEs will have less resources to access foreign markets, being small companies in China wanting to go to Europe, or the contrary, European companies wanting to go to China, and they need support. They need to understand how to develop those things. I think already what is interesting is that both sides are using the same terminology. Everybody is looking for innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship. Everyone wants to bolster. They know that in order to create economic activities, jobs, to address issues like climate changes, we need innovation, we need creativity, and I think this is where we can find common goals here, common interest. And I think this is important to establish collaboration. As you know, I've been active in China for the last 8 years, and I have a good understanding of the importance given by the Chinese government to development of entrepreneurship and creative entrepreneurship. I've visited many incubation, makerspace, creative hubs in China. There are a lot of incubators, creative hubs, living labs in Europe too. And I think that this is an important area of potential collaboration. It's actually linking those hubs, creative hubs, incubator centers, living labs, for those young entrepreneurs to meet and to develop projects together. We're actually managing large projects called Be Creative. And we will organize at the end of the year in China a big event that will aim at networking European creative entrepreneurs and Chinese creative entrepreneurs. And I think through projects like this, we can concretely actually work on projects. And those type of platforms, being physical as well as digital platforms, can help entrepreneurs to meet and develop projects together. I think the potential is enormous, because China is now very crowded in terms of initiatives and people setting foot in China. And most of them will end up, as you said, first in Shanghai because of its internationally minded city. Maybe in Beijing because they have to deal with the administration. Maybe in Shenzhen if they are linked to technology. But I think essentially people are looking for opportunities to enter the market, and second-tier cities, like Chengdu, are they are capital cities of their population is bigger than the majority of states' population in Europe. You're mentioning Chengdu, the capital of Sichuan. It's a big city, very attractive culturally, with a good quality of life, very good food, and this makes it very attractive, especially for Europeans, which attach great importance to quality of life, to culture, offering to heritage preservation, and I think Chengdu offer those opportunities. So there is definitely opportunities in relation to architecture, to design, to fashion, as well as to maybe music, cinema, arts management, museums. Yes, I actually would today. I would encourage entrepreneurs to go to those cities rather than to go to the usual places. Other challenges common throughout China is a different culture, a different way of doing business. You have to accept that things are done differently in China than in Europe. And the same way the Chinese have to accept when they come here that business is done in a different way, the same way the Europeans. And then the Europeans is difficult to define because a French or a German or Italian will behave differently already because they're already different cultures. But they are going to be in a country where the institutional setup is first completely different, and the relationship with people is key. So you need to take time, you need to be patient, you need to like also the country and the people, to be accepted, and to establish a trust and confidence. It will feel where people will feel they can do business with you. So if you are ready to accept this, you should go to China. If you're not ready, then it's better to leave it, because it will not happen like this. Unless you have a magnificent product that speak for itself, but if you want to establish, you need to take the time of the relationship and establishing the trust. So it's a cultural interaction, which leads very often to a lot of misunderstanding, because a word in English or a European language is different from the perception you will have in China. So the codes are different, but this is true everywhere. If you were to do business in America or in Latin America, you will have be confronted with the different culture. I always say that the press and politicians are very good in establishing misunderstanding. So at the end of the day, it's through projects, it's through getting people to work on concrete projects that you actually misspell the misunderstanding. I think what is great with the Chinese initiative is actually it's a concrete political project. We want to go from there to there, using references from the past, from the Middle Age, and saying, this existed in the Middle Age. We have now to reconstruct. We're constructing something for the new age that enables cultural exchanges, a business exchange, trade exchanges, which are also cultural exchanges, and this is an opportunity. Take it. It's an opportunity whereby you can come to China, or the Chinese can come using this road as a way of supporting exchanges, and then concretely to avoid misunderstanding is talking, and it will take time, as obvious. But if there is a willingness to create those links, it will happen.